Hello everyone, this is Meera Gupta, and in this video I am going to explain the rest paragraph of class 11th English. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together. In earlier video I have explained from para 1st to 8, and now today going to start para 9. So let's listen it and try to understand the explanation. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, steering, and working the radio. We were getting no replies to our Mayday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. She had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. When I asked why hadn't made more of her injuries before this, she replied, "I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all." Let's understand here. One word is difficult here, that is Mayday calls. Mayday calls here means the words used to signal ships stuck in a disastrous situation through radio. Okay. Now listen the explanation. The whole night was about the endless routine of pumping out of the water, steering the wheel and working the radio. There were no replies to their signals sent over the radio as they were in the remotest part of the world. Sue's is the daughter of Arthur. Her head was now more swollen and she had two back eyes with a deep cut in her arm. When upon being asked why she didn't tell him about her injuries earlier, she said that she didn't want to worry him as he was trying to save all of them. Means here the daughter was very conscious. She was very conscious and also she was very sincere because she didn't want to disturb her father while he was saving their lives. Okay. So here you can you can see the sense of a little girl, how much she was aware about the fact that she should not disturb at that moment to her father. Okay. So let us see the next paragraph. Para 10. By morning on January 3, the pumps had the water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest in rotation. But we still had a tremendous leak somewhere below the waterline, and on checking I found that nearly all the boat's rib frames were smashed down to the knee. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard hull except a few cupboard partitions. We had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit, but wave walker wouldn't hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. I checked our charts and calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. One of them, Ile Amsterdam, was a French scientific base. Our only hope was to reach these pinpricks in the vast ocean, but unless the wind and seas abated so we could hoist sail, our chances would be slim indeed. The great wave had put our auxiliary engine out of action. Let us see the difficult meaning. Here, smashed. Smashed here means badly broken. Nil. Nil means steel structure along the base of the ship. Pinpricks. A prick caused by a pin. Pinpricks in the vast ocean. That means the two small islands in the vast ocean were very tiny, like the prick caused by a pin. Abated. Abated here means something unpleasant to become less intense. Auxiliary engine. Auxiliary engine means a small secondary engine used to board ship to operate a windlass in the ship. Now listen the explanation. What happened? The water level was under control by the morning of January 3. So all of them took 2 hours rest in rotation. Means one by one their turns come for 2 hours to take rest. But there still was a leak somewhere below the water line. Upon checking, the boat rib structure was badly broken down till the base of the ship. The whole section of starboard was held together with a few cupboard partitions. Okay. Now here in next para, the ship's condition was so bad that it would not make it till Australia. The narrator checked the charts and calculated that there were 2 small islands a few kilometers to the east. One of them was Île Armstrong, and which was French scientific base. Their only hope was to search and reach that island. But only if the wind and the sea do not cause further damage, else their chances were slim. The wave had destroyed the ship's auxiliary engine. Okay. Now see the next paragraph. Para 11. On January 4, after 36 hours of continuous pumping, we reached the last few centimeters of water. Now, we had only to keep pace with the water still coming in. We couldn't set any sail on the mainmast. Pressure on the rigging would simply pull the damaged section of the hull apart. So, we hoisted the storm jeep and headed for where I thought the 2 islands were. Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits, and we ate our first meal in almost 2 days. But our respite was short-lived. At 4 p.m., black clouds began building up behind us. Within the hour, the wind was back to 40 knots and the seas were getting higher. The weather continued to deteriorate throughout the night, and by dawn on January 5, our situation was again desperate. See the difficult meaning. Rigging here means the ropes and wires supporting the structure of the ship. Hull means the framework of the vessel. Respite here means the short period of rest, and deteriorate here means get worse. Okay. Now see the explanation. After 36 hours of continuous pumping on January 4, the water was only a few centimeters left to be pumped out. But the steel had to pump out the water which was coming in. They couldn't set sail on the mainmast. They hoisted the storm jeep and sailed towards 2 small islands. They had their first meal in 2 days, some corned beef and cracker biscuit found by Mary. The rest period was short-lived. Why? Because the black clouds built up around 4 p.m. The wind was now 40 knots and the sea was getting higher. The weather got worse, and by the early morning of January 5, the situation was very bad. Okay, now see the next para 12. When I went to comfort the children, John asked, "Daddy, are we going to die?" I tried to assure him that we could make it. "But, Daddy," he went on, "we are not afraid to die if we can all be together." you and Mummy, Sue and I. I could find no words with which to respond, but I left the children's cabin determined to fight the sea with everything I had. To protect the weakened starboard side, I decided to heave to with the undamaged port hull facing the oncoming waves, using an improvised sea anchor of heavy nylon rope and two 22-liter plastic barrels of paraffin. That evening, Mary and I sat together holding hands as the motion of the ship brought more and more water in through the broken planks. We both felt the end was near. Now you can see the difficult meaning. Heap to. Heap to here means to raise or lift with effort. Paraffin here means colorless, flammable oil liquid. Okay. Now see the explanation. When the narrator went to comfort his children, his son asked him, his son who was only 6 years old, he asked him whether they were going to die. He tried to assure him that they would make it. The father, the narrator, tried to assure his son that they would make it. His son replied that they were not afraid to die till they all were together. This is the significance of the story title. Means here the son was showing his courage in front of his father. What did he reply? That they were not afraid to die till they all were together. This filled the narrator with a determination to fight back. It means his reply gave the strength to the narrator to fight. He made effort to protect the weakened starboard side. He used an improvised sea anchor made of heavy nylon rope and two 22-liter plastic barrel of kerosene. That same evening, the narrator and his wife sat holding hands and they believed that their end was near. Means there is no hope left behind. They thought now their life is going to end. Okay, now let's see para 13. But Wavewalker rode out the storm, and by the morning of January 6, with the wind easing, I tried to get a reading on the sextant. Back in the chart room, I worked on wind speed, changes of course, drift and current in an effort to calculate our position. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in 150,000 kilometers of ocean looking for a 65-kilometer wide island. While I was thinking, Sue, moving painfully, joined me. The left side of her head was now very swollen and her blackened eyes narrowed to slits. She gave me a card she had made. On the front she had drawn caricature of Mary and me with the words, "Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh?" I laughed a lot as well. Inside was a message. "Oh, how I love you both. So, this card is to say thank you and let us hope for the best. Somehow we had to make it." Let's see the meaning of difficult word. Sextant. Sextant here means an instrument which graduated arc of 60 degrees for taking altitude and navigation. And caricatures is the picture of a person or cartoon. Okay, now see the explanation. The ship made it through the storm, and by the morning of January 6, the narrator tried to get reading on the sextant. He worked with wind speeds, drift, and current, and calculated their position. They were in 150,000 kilometer area of ocean, looking for a 65-kilometer wide island. While the narrator was still thinking, his daughter Sue joined him and she was in pain. The left side of her head was swollen and her blackened eyes had narrowed down to slits. She gave him a card which she had made herself. On the front of the card was a cartoon image of her parents with words written about them being funny people and how they made her laugh. On the inside of the card, she told them how she loved them both and she thanked them. This made the narrator realize that they had to make it the island. Means the father was now determined to save their lives anyhow. And this is because he got the strength on seeing his children and his wife. Now see the next paragraph. Para 14. I checked and rechecked my calculation. We had lost our main compass and I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. I made an allowance for this and another estimate of influence of the westerly current which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. About 2 p.m., I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. If we were lucky, I told him with the conviction. I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. Then, with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed on my bunk, and amazingly dozed off. When I woke, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left, we couldn't hope to beat back into the westerly winds. At that moment, a tousled head appeared by my bunk. Can I have a hug? Jonathan asked. She was right behind him. Now, see the difficult meaning. Tousled head. Tousled head means disarranged hair of the narrator's son Jonathan. Bunk hair means bed and dozed off means went off to sleep. See the explanation. The narrator rechecked his calculation. They lost their main compass and were using the spare one which was not corrected for magnetic variation. He estimated the influence of the westerly currents which flow through the Indian Ocean. Around 2 p.m., he went on deck and asked Larry to steer the wheel to 185 degrees. He felt if they were lucky, they would see the island by 5 p.m. Then he went below and slept. He woke up around 6 p.m. and it was dark outside. He thought that they might have missed the island. He started worrying about how they would tackle the westerly wind more as the ship was not capable to sail more. His son came and asked him for a hug. His daughter followed him. Now, let's see next paragraph. Why am I getting a hug now? I asked. Because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain, my son replied. Not today, John, I am afraid. Why? You must be, said Sue in a matter of fact voice. You found the island. What? I shouted. It is out there in front of us, they chorused, as big as a battleship. I rushed on deck and gazed with relief at the stark outline of Amsterdam. It was only a bleak piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation, the most beautiful island in the world. Now see the meaning. Bleak here means an area of land lacking vegetation. Stark here means sharply defined. Okay. Now here the explanation. He asked that why he getting a hug. The narrator asked to his children why he was getting a hug. His son replied that he was the best daddy in the world and also called him the best captain. And only these few words are enough for the father to hear that his son or his daughter was saying that, means they were giving the compliment to his father that he was the best daddy in the world. The narrator replied that he was afraid. Shoo, his daughter, told him then that they had found the island which was as big as a battleship. The narrator, means hearing these all things, the narrator rushed to the deck and gave a sigh of relief. They could see the complete outline of Amsterdam. There was a bleak piece of volcanic rock in front of them. It had a little vegetation. It was the most beautiful island in the world. Now see the next paragraph 16. We anchored offshore for the night, and the next morning all 28 inhabitants of the island cheered us as they helped us ashore. With land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of Larry and Herb, cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress, and of Mary, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours. Most of all, I thought of 7-year-old girl who did not want us to worry about the head injury, which subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between skin and skull, and of 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die. Here, anchored means moor or ship to the sea bottom. Offshore, situated at the same shore, means situated at the seasome, distance from the shore. Ashore, on the shore of the island. Optimistic means hopeful and confident. Now see the explanation. They moored the ship at some distance from the shore, and the next morning 28 inhabitants of Amsterdam Island helped them to move on shore of land. As he felt the land again on his feet, he thought of his crewmen and his wife. He also thought of his 7-year-old daughter who was injured badly, but she had to go through 6 minor operations to remove the blood clot in her head. His son, who never gave up and was not afraid to die. Means now at the end all family become very happy. They completed their voyage with full strength, with full faith, with full hope. They were optimistic, and the children had believed on their father, on their parents, that anyhow the father will be able to save the life of their children. And this is the reason that the father was means the father struggled a lot, fight a lot to save the life of their family, and that's why here the title named "We are not afraid to die if we can all be together." So at the last I would like to say that this title "We are not afraid to die if we can all be together" is very significant. Here the family member needed courage, strength and belief of each other. In this story, the narrator needed the courage, strength and belief of his family, and their courage, strength and belief lit his hopes and made him determined to fight this situation. The complete support from their two crew members has also helped him a lot. The message of this story is unity is strength. That is, we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. Okay? Means here you can see the most important lesson that we learn from such hazardous experiences when we are face to face with death is not to lose hope under any circumstances. At times, life presents very dire situation, but if one is optimistic about finding a solution and overcome the odds, one will always be successful. So I hope this story is going to motivate you. It's my suggestion to you, read this story twice or thrice a time so that you can understand it well. Now the story is end here. I hope you like it. Okay, goodbye, take care.